connection. Today we have Rachel as our spotlight, and Rachel she's a coach. She works on mindful eating with clients, and she coaches people in body positive ways and a mindset around food. She is amazing. I've met her recently at a women's retreat and have fallen in love with her. So welcome, Rachel. We're excited to have you today. And yeah, before we get started, I would like you to tell us what you have on today.
All right. First of all, I love you guys too. I love everyone, especially you guys, but I love everyone in Lifted. You guys are just extra special. And this tracksuit is really cool because lucky me, I just got to hang out with you two this past weekend at Mark England's house in Virginia. And I came unprepared. Both of you had tracksuits. Almost, I think everyone except for a couple people had tracksuits, and I was out of the loop. Unfortunately, I don't know how. My boyfriend brought one, and I came with him. I don't know how it happened. But Mark's like, I got the perfect tracksuit for you. He pulled me back to his room, and the Penthouse tracksuit was born. And it's got a hat. It's got pants. And it's got an undershirt, and I feel like I'm on the top floor, so it's pretty sweet and pretty cool. Thanks for the intro, by the way. That was also very sweet.
Yeah.
You came dancing out in that tracksuit as well.
Yes.
You did.
Move my back. Yeah, I can dance it out. Oh yeah, I did because we all have our walkout songs, and my walkout song is Kid Rock's. Can I swear on here?
Sure. Go.
Okay. You never met a motherfucker quite like me. That song, you know, and it's just like, and you know, our walkout song is supposed to be our corner man song. It's our song that helps us celebrate our wins, like our times when we're trying to, you know, think of ourselves as badass and like, you know, remind ourselves of how awesome we are. And so he gave me the tracksuit, and then we were at Mark's house, and I, you know, danced down the hallway, and I would do more dancing, but probably wouldn't. It would look like my head was cut off. That wouldn't be very good.
It was an awesome show that you put on, coming out in your tracksuit, wearing it for the first time, dancing down the hallway with the music blaring, everyone cheering you on. It was so much fun to watch.
It's like just enough that you're like working here, like high energy muscles, like stoic exercise. So be just out there and just
Thanks, guys. Yeah, when I found out that was it you who suggested that I do that?
Yes.
I was like,
what's your walkout song?
So thanks. But that then spurred other people to do walkout songs, which was very entertaining for me. Mark did his and Kyle did his. And it kind of made me wish that I went third, because they definitely outstaged me, which in my opinion wasn't fair, because they saw mine first and then they got to do all these extra stuff that I didn't know I could do. I didn't know that I could come out on the song late, and I came out of the song as soon as it started, which is not the best time to come out on the song. I'll know for next time.
Repeat encore performance will be requested.
I need redemption, so thank you.
Well, Rachel, what wins are you celebrating?
What wins am I celebrating? Well, actually, a really recent win that I didn't take time to recognize, but we kind of pinpointed it before we started this call, was how grateful I am to have met so many people similar to me, and how grateful I am to have met you guys. And I consider it a win, the fact that we went to Mark's house and I got to meet all these new people, the fact that I even signed up for the initial Enlifted certification. This whole, since quarantine started, when I decided to go full-time into my coaching and dive even deeper and do story work through Enlifted and vocabulary, like I'm a completely new person, and I'm binary language acknowledged, but it's true. I've never had people in my life besides my boyfriend who were similar enough to me, who had similar interests, who understood the power of language, who understood that life's not as complicated as people think it is when you simplify things. Simplicity is like the basis for everything. Like things are so much more simple. That's the basis of my coaching, is to, I coach on intuitive eating and body confidence, like you said, and the point is that eating and food and everything everything works when you make it simple. And it's the similar thing to what we learned in Enlifted. So I'm celebrating the fact that I have so many more friends in my life, and not just that, but I have so many more friends that I resonate with, that fill up my cup and make me happy, and that I can connect with and do podcasts like this with you guys. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's beautiful how you talked about the similarities you see across your coaching practice and what Mark's doing, and with food and everything. It really shows that our perception of all aspects of our life can be really complicated, or we've made it really complicated, when in reality, by letting go of so much stuff, our lives become better.
And I don't know if anyone on here has heard this before, but if anyone knows about like what our higher self is, or our intuition, typically they say when there is an intuitive answer to something, or when our intuition is speaking, our intuition speaks in a few words. So if you slow yourself down, and if you're trying to get an answer that's coming from like your higher self or your intuition, it's usually a very simple answer. It's a few words, and they take out the soft talk, which soft talk is using things like, oh, I'm kind of like this, I'm trying to do this, which you caught me on earlier. I said, I'm going to try to wear my tracksuit. And you were so right. I said, I'm going to try to wear my tracksuit. I did not commit. I did wear my tracksuit. I will wear my tracksuit. Thanks for Kristen for reminding me to wear my tracksuit. But it's things like that, like removing all of the clutter, all of the little things we've learned throughout our life, all like the added words that don't need to be there, and then just honing it down to what's actually the truth. And the truth is, from what I've found in many areas of life, like you just said, so simple.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's a great win, because that will serve you so well for the rest of your life and all the people you interact with.
Exactly, because then I know that when I'm overcomplicating something, or I can be pretty sure if I'm overcomplicating something, I just need to take a step back, and I just need to really think about the bare bones of the problem. And when you think about it in simple terms, it can help you move forward.
Awesome.
Well, our next question for you is, what is something unique about yourself?
So when I saw this question, I wasn't sure what to answer, but then Kristen, you reminded me that I have a very unique story that I enjoy telling, and it might be a true story. I'm not sure if it's a true story. It's kind of a little snippet that I do, and it's called my New York story. And I will tell it right now. I learned it when I was 9, and people really like it when I say it. So, ready? Okay. So it says to my daughter, don't feed the dog the coffee. And I turn around, and what is she doing? She's feeding the dog the coffee. So now what do I got? A done daughter, a dead dog, and no coffee. And that's my New York story.
I love it.
Thank you. But if I'm going to think about something else that's unique about me, is that I started my health journey when I was 9. I was obese, and I went to a weight loss camp. And I became a yo-yo dieter from weight loss camp all the way up to a few years ago when I finally learned intuitive eating and all of those things. So I would say what's unique about me is that I had a very long health journey, and it started when I was very young, and it started with me going to a weight loss camp, which I don't hear many people go to weight loss camps, or I don't know if many people have been to weight loss camps. So that's also unique.
Wow. What is your strongest memory from that experience?
So I would say my strongest memory is before I went to weight loss camp. I used to isolate myself. I was a closet eater. I didn't hang out with a lot of people. And I thought that the reason I didn't have friends was because I was overweight. Now when I look back on it, I realize it's because I didn't put myself forward. I didn't have any energy. I didn't talk to anyone. I didn't want to hang out with people. I manifested that reality. But when I went to weight loss camp, everyone was like me. Everyone had the same issue growing up. They were overweight. They felt like an outcast from people. They had low energy. And so I resonated with them a lot. And it was like my first time making friends with people at that age that felt like I actually connected with people, and then felt like I had a group of friends that I was comfortable with. That got me and I got them. And so that really stands out for me from that. And that gave me a lot more confidence when I left the camp to make more friends, because I learned at that camp that I could make friends. But it also gave me a bad mental thought. It also gave me a bad belief, which I have since changed, where I thought that I was only going to have friends when I was in the process of losing weight, or once I lost weight. And that was because I associated me making friends at the weight loss camp with losing weight. And like I said, now that I look back on it, it's just because I resonated with more people who were like me that I made the friends. But I would say that was the forefront of the memories from what I remember, that was positive in a way.
Yeah, and it connects beautifully to what you said previously about your win that you were celebrating, of finding people that are like-minded again and connecting with the individuals who you have the same energy and the same interests and stuff.
Yeah, that's so important, because I actually grew up in a town too that I didn't realize this, but it was a very sheltered town. And I would have a few friends in high school. I've always had a few close friends, but the culture of the town was very, I don't know how to explain. I'm trying to explain this without making everyone sound like a dick. But it's kind of, so basically when I went to college, I went to UMass Amherst, I realized that people from my town are not the norm. They don't treat you a certain way because of money status. They don't treat you a certain way based on how you look. It was much more open. And so I also grew up in a very sheltered town that I didn't feel like I resonated with a lot of people there. But when I went to college, I resonated with a lot of people. After, when I started doing this in Lifted, I resonated with people. So it really just goes to show, when you follow your passion and you're true to yourself, you will find the people you resonate with. And those are the people you're going to want to be around. And it's not worth forcing yourself to be with people that you don't resonate with, because it's just going to drain your energy and make you feel unworthy. And that's something I've really realized.
I noticed when you say that you've got your hand right here on your heart. So part of that is following your heart, listening. What does your heart say? And those people that resonate with you, when you follow your heart, you start to find those people. So.
Exactly. And that, it's funny because that's how I met my boyfriend too. I was working in finance after college. I was working for my dad. And I was I was making good money in finance, and I thought that I wanted to have a good job so I can make good money and screw what I actually wanted to do, because it's all about making money. And I actually found a love for cannabis because I'm not a good sleeper, and I started growing it. I'm in a legal state. So I started growing it for myself to use for sleep. And then I just got so enamored with cannabis, became so passionate with it, that I wanted to work in the cannabis industry. And so when I looked for jobs, the jobs that were coming up, you don't make as much money as you make in cannabis. I was going to go back to hourly from a salary rate. But I said, screw it. And I followed my heart and I went there because I knew that I'd be way happier working with cannabis than I would be working in finance because it was miserable for me. And the second I got to working in the dispensary, everything happened so synchronistically. Like, it's really hard to get into the industry in Mass, but I just happened to get this feeling to apply to this dispensary that wasn't hiring since they opened, and they just happened to hire when I applied. And I got the job like right there. This is the only job I've ever applied to where I went in for the interview and they hired me on the spot. And that day I met my boyfriend before the interview. He talked to me at the front desk. He made a sale to me. I ended up buying something from the dispensary and he sold to me. And later, like I was dating someone else at the time, but I had such a crush on my boyfriend. And like, I didn't know what to do. I was like, I've never met someone more like me in my life. Like, it was mind blowing to me. I'm a very unique, specific person. Like, I'm very into health and fitness, but I'm also very into cannabis, and that doesn't always mesh. And so like, he was also into all the same things as me. And so I ended up breaking up with my boyfriend, hanging out with him. And he's like the love of my life, like the best thing that's ever happened to me, basically. And I've never believed in being with one person the rest of your life until I met him. And I wouldn't have met him unless I followed my heart and left finance despite the money and went into cannabis and followed my heart in that direction. So yeah, following your heart is so important.
Mhm.
That's a beautiful story.
Yeah.
So that leads us to our next question. Good follow-in to what are your favorite things?
One of my favorite things, well, cannabis is one of them. I'm just super passionate about it, especially since I worked in the industry and I saw how much it helped people, and I saw it help get people off opioids. I'm also a fan of plant medicine in general. I found that that's really helped open me up, and it's helped made me like, in conjunction with inner work I've done with story work, with journaling, the plant medicines helped me be more receptive. So I've gotten into other plant medicine journeys. What are also my favorite things? I love the beach. I love nature. I love being outside. I love hiking in the mountains. I love cooking. When I was 13, I got a KitchenAid stand mixer for my birthday because I was obsessed with baking that much. I baked all the time. I baked every day. And then I gave everyone else what I baked because I liked eating it as I made it, but then I never wanted the finished product. I just wanted everyone else to tell me how amazing it was. So I would force other people to eat all my baked goods growing up. And I'm still like a cook. I still love to cook a lot. But yeah, I would say a lot of my favorite, and I'm huge into music and music festivals. Me and my boyfriend love going to Electric Forest, which unfortunately this year ended up getting canceled because of COVID, but we're hoping next year, and we were hoping we could get a bunch of other Enlifted coaches to come, and we have like a big Enlifted Electric Forest thing, and super fun.
Back
And
in my
yeah.
home state.
Yeah, right? It'd be so fun. It's like right down all of our alleys. It's just great. But yeah, I think those are my favorite things. I'm a very simple person. I like general things.
So with the next question is, if you had a billboard, what would it say?
Well, actually, I thought of it right now. Going off of the theme of simplicity, you know that saying, keep it simple, stupid? I wanted to say, keep it simple, silly, because silly is just more fun than stupid. It's just happier.
I love that.
Yeah, so I would say, keep it simple, silly.
Nice. I like it.
No, I'd be pointing.
With your tracksuit, penthouse.
And I'd be wearing the tracksuit. You're right.
Of course.
It'd be like mixtape, guys. Like we did the picture before.
Yes.
So next question, what do you like to do to play?
What do I like to do to play? Music festivals for sure. My boyfriend and I have this tradition. Every Sunday, we get lattes. I get a breve latte, which some people think is gross, but this is part of intuitive eating. I drink lattes made with half and half. So yes, I drink a cup of half and half, basically. Some people think it's gross. Some people get it, and they're on my side. It's so freaking good. So I get a breve latte. He gets an almond milk latte. And every Sunday we go to this park by him called Webb Park, and it's a big like nature conservatory, and it's on the water and it's on the ocean, and across the ocean you can see the Boston skyline very clearly, because it's Webb Park's in the South Shore, which is like the South Shore of Boston. And it's really pretty in the summer, like all the flowers are blooming because it's by the beach. There's like a lot of beachy different looking plants. Now that it's getting colder out, we're still doing it, and we just bundle up a lot, and it's super windy and all the plants are dying, but it's also pretty because all of the leaves are out right now. So I'm a huge fan of nature walks. I also have been obsessed with traveling recently, which is awesome because I haven't been a traveler for a long time. Like, I've never considered myself a person who travels a lot. But since COVID, it's just like been the perfect opportunity. And I went to Mexico for 2 weeks, went to Oregon for a week, just went to Virginia to see you guys. So that's like another thing that I've been really enjoying for play. And I've been wanting to develop living that nomad life, kind of like living on the go. So those are my play things right now, I would say.
I love all of them. And I really love your tradition that you have with Ryan. That's awesome. So sweet.
It's like honestly my favorite thing. Sundays I get so excited when we wake up. Ryan always says to me, he's like, breve time? And I'm like, yeah. It's the best.
That's awesome.
All right. So the last question that we have is, how can we celebrate you?
How can we celebrate me? Well, I appreciate this podcast. This feels like a celebration of me. We could all dance real quick. Well, how do you celebrate other people? Give me an example.
Yeah. Should I see if I can find your walkout song?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we could do this. We could dance to a walkout song. Should we? This feels like celebration enough.
And two, I think getting together and keeping the consistency is always celebration, right? Like continuing the connection too.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. The fact that you guys even reached out to me to do this is continuing the celebration. And I would love to have you guys on my Instagram too, to talk about like everything each of you are doing, what you're doing with the Heart Connections. Because I think it's a really cool. I love how in Enlifted we've all created these little Facebook groups and these little communities for us to continue to engage. It's really fun. So,
it is fun. We reach so many people, by doing that individually, our own work.
Yeah. I'm curious, what inspired you to start this?
Yeah,
Do you remember, Kristen?
The biggest thing is Kayla and I, we would talk. When we talk, it'd be business a lot of times. And for us, like, I was like, I need heart connection. I need a heart to heart. And so that's where the idea came from. And then, with learning from Mark, and he was starting up the Supercharger Affirmations, Kayla had the brilliant idea of starting a group. So we're like, heart connection, getting the community, that heart to heart, and the support system that comes with that as well.
I love it. I mean, because I feel like that's the one thing that I've found from this, or one of the things I found from this community, is the level of support that we all have. And even just like your husband, Chris, like Lance, the fact that he created these little bracelets, these support bracelets, are so cool. And he said to put it on your right wrist when we're accepting support, or when we're giving support, and on our left when we're receiving it. I actually moved it to my left today because I was writing, so I guess I'm receiving support.
Yeah.
Right now you are.
Thanks, guys.
You're
Thanks.
receiving love. You're welcome. You're welcome.
I feel very loved. Like,
for sure.
so
Yeah.
So where can people find out more about you, Rachel? Or where would you want people to connect if they are experiencing something similar to you?
So yeah, so what I do is I help people go from dieting, yo-yo dieting, which is something that I'm very familiar with. Like I said, it started when I was 9 years old, all the way up. And then I went to school for nutrition, and I still was in that wrong mindset. It wasn't until after I got out of school and worked in cannabis that my mindset started to shift, and I became an intuitive eater. And it's a really long journey, and I know that's not easy for everyone. And so I help people make that switch so that they can then free up more mental space and not always thinking about food, not always thinking about their body, and then free up mental space so they can actually achieve their life goals and be the person they want to be, instead of being defined by their food and their body. So if you want to find me and if that resonates with you, it's at body.by.food on Instagram. Or if you go on Facebook, my name's just Rachel Veritimos, which I'm sure my last name will be spelled here somewhere. And then I have a website, it's body-by-food.com. But Instagram is probably is the best place to reach me and chat.
Awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, find her on Instagram, and but her website, you'll be able to click the link when to the spotlight. Her name is right there for Facebook. So yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Awesome.
So,
Thank you, Rachel, so much.
all right. Well, thanks and love you.
Love you guys.
See you soon.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.